Hey everyone, welcome back to Ava's Dream Chronicles. We are on to chapter 13. Chapter 13 is a little rocky because it took so long to transcribe everything. You see, everything was in this journal originally, right here, but it was all in code, and I can read it on my own, but it's a little rocky reading it out loud. So I went ahead and transcribed everything into this journal. See, they're all completely brown because I don't like brown, completely brown, but just to know that there are stories from here into here. They look alike. So it took me 2 or 3 weeks to transcribe everything, and then of course life happened. So it's been a while since I posted a video. What, 3 weeks ago? Yeah, it's just on and off transcribing. But I got to fill in some key details, which I'm sure y'all will enjoy. It is different because, well, there are some characters in it who I don't like. but that's okay because they're negative aspects of myself, which will help me later to grow. They're interconnecting dreams, people. So they're gonna be in other dreams. I gotta write them down. Because that just makes dreams interesting, right? So I will start in like 5 seconds. I might be releasing a second video today because I'm kind of bored, but also it's really cute. So maybe I'll have a bonus video after filming this that, you know, I film it and then 3 days later I'll release it. So Monday, Tuesday. I'm just thinking out loud here, guys. So this story is called Lugh and Lina. This story is a translation from my second journal, which was partially written in code. I lost my first translation, which was written in an ordinary notebook paper, which leaves me to rewrite it all over again, because this is not the first time I've translated the story, guys. Tears. The first one I wrote in a notebook, which I ripped out and then lost. I really don't think I threw it away. I almost never throw my papers away. Ugh, I wish I had it. But I have this. That's good enough. So I must continue my YouTube series, and so this is necessary. Such a hassle. However, please enjoy the story, Lugh and Lina. Please show up. This is kind of embarrassing. In fact, it's really embarrassing. So I'm going to write all of this in picked, which is the alphabet which I wrote in here. Whatever. Which looks awesome, by the way. So one time I went to bed and dreamt that I'm in this forest. It's in one of these dream styles or dream themes where in the forest, it's made of a motley of trees. There's Texas cedar, there's ash and mesquite, there's willow and oak. Some trees that don't even grow next to each other. It is not sunny. It was cloudy and cool, like a damp fall day, and every now and then a mist would roll in. Next to the forest is this huge white rock, which reminded me of the one that me and my siblings would climb when we went hiking, with many footholes in it and jagged rocks to grab onto. I wasn't in the forest per se. I was right in between the forest and the rock. It's like separation. So I was standing on gravel and noticed how gray the sky is and how little plants still somehow manage to grow out of one of these little holes in the rocky ground. So I see my friend the hero. He's dressed in a light blue shirt and jeans. He's looking at me. "You coming?" He says. "What?" I say, "What?" I said, "I mean, sure. What is it again?" He said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. I forgot to mention. Eric said there's this old cave with a legend of a magic crystal that's supposed to be very powerful. We were hoping to use it to help us somehow, and I want to try looking for it." He probably said a lot more, or something else, but as he was talking, I noticed that these 2 teenagers were in the forest too. It was a boy and a girl. The girl took The girl took her face from someone I know in real life, with a round moon face. Pretty, and she was tall for her age. Long black hair, light brown eyes, and sad to say, craters on her nose. She's talking to this guy, who I assumed was her brother, since they were similar looking, and she's talking to him in this high-pitched voice. Which is weird because the girl I know in real life who took her face doesn't have a high-pitched voice. But her brother was lighter skinned than his sister, and he looked older. He listened attentively to his sister, and they were too far away to hear exactly what they were saying, but I could still see them. So the hero says again, "So are you coming?" I said, "Oh, yeah, of course I'm coming. Hold on, do you think that we need some helpers?" I thought about it for a minute. "Yeah, sure, I guess. Who did you have in mind?" "Vincent and Eric couldn't come now, but they said they'd be here later." I said, "Awesome, hold on, let me go get them." So I left him and approached the two. I decided to talk to the girl first. I said, "Hi, my name's Ava," I said. I saw she was holding a round glass bottle with a label on it, and it had a green-blue liquid that swished around when she held it. "What's your name?" I asked. She said, "I'm Lina. My brother's name is Lugh." I asked what they were doing, and she said that she was a potion maker. Then she motioned to her brother and said, "And he's an expert at casting spells and all things magic." "A sorcerer?" I asked. "Exactly," she said. I looked at Lugh. I saw he carried a type of wand, and it wasn't too remarkable. It was just a twisted root. He came over and asked if I wanted to see a spell. And regardless if I wanted to see a spell or not, he did one. So there are a lot of trees around, and as I said, it's a forested area. Anyway, I witnessed Lugh make 3 or 4 small portals with a wave and saying some kind of rhyme or chant. And they were black, like round chasms or empty voids that had a low ringing sound to them. And he did it so smooth and with such confidence that I thought that he and his sister would be invaluable to mine and the hero's adventures. So he closed up the portals, and they disappeared, and I said to them, "Are y'all two looking for an adventure?" They glanced at each other, and Lina said, "Sure." Lugh said, "Sure, we don't even know what we're supposed to be doing here, but I had a feeling that we should come anyway." So I didn't think twice. "All right, let's go. This way, guys." So I led them through some of the trees and back to the hero, and I said, "This is Lugh and this is Lina." I introduced them to the hero as the hero, and I felt kind of nervous because it's not actually a name. In fact, it's a goofy nickname. But whatever, they didn't question it. The hero was polite and was surprised to see that I actually had 2 friends who could do magic. Before I forget, it should be mentioned that whenever Lugh does a spell of any kind, his hair turns white, like bleach white. It's really odd. It turns back to a dark color fairly quickly, though. So hero starts explaining to us that as we're walking to the caves, the rock was there, but the caves we were supposed to explore weren't exactly there. They were farther off. So while we were walking to the caves we were supposed to go into, Lina's acting odd whenever the hero looks at her. She can't take her eyes off of him. So then, as the hero is talking to Lugh about the history of the crystal, Lina pulls me aside suddenly, and she's whispering to me about how handsome the hero is and how she just never felt so sure of someone like him being with her someday, like normal people do. So, because she's a little delusional, but not fun kind, I decide to avoid her and go hang out with the hero. So we finally make it at the foot of the mountain, and it was much more treacherous looking than the first location. There it is," the hero says, pointing up at the cave. It looked like there used to be steps leading up to it, but they were destroyed by elements and time, so now it was just bare rock. "So it's here that we start climbing," the hero said, and then he started climbing. He must really like rock climbing, so I started to climb too, as best I could. There were no hand or footholds, but whatever. Lugh said, "I don't think all that work will be necessary." He used his wand and somehow, someway, sent all of us to the cave, using a moving portal. The hero was pointing at. Needless to say, the cave was huge. I don't even know how it was well lit, and it's rocky. It probably used to be smoother, but parts of the cave had shifted or collapsed, and there were rocks on the ground, and so we explored. And at first, I was searching on my own, while Lina was closer to Lugh, who was nearer to the region in the back, and the hero was toward the middle of the 50-foot cave, so I started searching for the crystal, checking corners, going through rock piles. We found the wire pedestal it used to be on. It was a tarnished yellow metal and it was knocked over, but we assumed that since the cave was in such a bad state that there was a chance it could still be in the cave and not taken. And when the hero and I are separate from the two, the hero says to me quietly, "I know they're your friends, but Lina's really weird." I said, yeah. You know that she has a major crush on you, right?" "Oh," he said, "I guess I just have that effect on girls." I said, "Ew, like the jailer's daughter." He said, "That was the most embarrassing thing I've done in my life." And as we were reminiscing, he looked down and said, "Oh, look, here it is," nonchalantly. Oh, look, here it is," he said nonchalantly and not too excited. Lina and Lugh came to see what the hero had found. "It's the crystal!" I exclaimed to them. This is awesome," the hero said. He passed it for me to look at. It was a bright, glowing quartz stone about the size of a big palm. I think about it, it was bigger than my palm. My palm is really small. So he passed it for me to look at. It was, oh wait, sorry. I'm rereading this. I passed it to Lina, who took a long look at it and held it up for Lugh to see. He was dead silent, staring at it intently. "Well, Lugh?" Lina asked. The hero gently stepped up to Lina and plucked her from her hands and stepped back. The way they were acting was weird. Then Lugh said, "Actually, we'll be taking that off your hands." "What?" I said. He said, "You heard me. Hand it over. The crystal's too powerful to be in your hands." He had his hand out to receive the crystal. The hero said, "The plan was to share it among us." That's when I tried to pull a fast one and snatch it away from these two freaks. I tried to snatch Lugh's wand away because he was threatening with it the whole time. It's a maniac with a wand. But as soon as I touched it, the whole room seemed white, and there was a ringing in my ears. When I went away, Lina became angry at what I tried to do, so she shouted to Lugh, "Turn her into a cauliflower." Lugh quickly said a spell and pointed at me, and hold on. Excuse me, I just found a typo, which is funny because I wrote it in hand. Wrote it by hand. I must have been in a hurry. And pointed at me, and the hero stepped in front and took the spell, which Lugh tried to put on me, but the spell threw the hero back. As if it was a physical force, he fell on the rocky ground. I checked to see if he was okay and tried to help him up. He said, "Ow." Then he smacked his lips and said, "I taste cauliflower." Lugh asked, "Why didn't the spell work?" We didn't answer that. We didn't answer that spells backfire on the hero. No matter. Except portals for some reason. He could go through portals. He had dropped the crystal on the ground, and Lina walked over and picked the crystal up. I mean, I made no effort to stop her, because at this point, I didn't really care anymore. Lina took the crystal to Lugh. "Thank you," was all he said. Lina said something to him, and the hero got to his feet, and then we were trying to leave the cave. Lugh said to Lina, No, we need them." And then he made a really violent gesture with his wand, and then we were all transported to another dream. Okay, it was to another building, but we switched locations. It was like a really small abandoned warehouse. It's really industrial? I'm not sure. Here we are. Lina sighed relieved. The hero and I were confused. What just happened? I stepped towards Lugh and tried to grab his wand again because it worked so well the first time. I got blinded, and this time it hurt. I don't know how, it just did. Like, if you're low on electrolytes, I know a lot of things backfire with the brain. Maybe that's just how it was. But I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too hard. Where was I? I don't know how, it just did. I did get a good grip this time, but Lugh just yanked it back. So after I'm forced to give up, separating Lugh from his wand, because then Lugh threatened to shoot magic at us, but then it stopped midway, and then me and the hero were silent, and so we were separated at Lugh faces. So we were separated, me and the hero. Me with Lugh, Lina with the hero, and Lugh's facing me. I put my hands up to show that I wouldn't try anything funny, and the hero's with Lina. I say to Lugh, Where are we? But then Lina goes up to Lugh and says, "Can I keep him?" And Lugh says yes, and he seems like he's thinking. Lina squealed loudly and ran to where the hero was. I could hear him say, "What are you doing?" She took his arm and dragged him to the other end of the room as he was leaving. He glanced at me like help. I just shrugged. Now there were a couple of chairs scattered around the room, and she motioned for the hero to sit down in one of them. And when he did, I guess he didn't really care anymore. Because I didn't care anymore. Because I am actually them. No, I'm just kidding. She motioned for the hero to sit down in one of them, and when he did, I guess he just didn't care anymore because he didn't struggle at all when she tied him up. It was a lot of rope. It was like a cartoon. It was thick and just piled on him, and it looked funny. And then she just started talking to him about weird things. It wasn't awkward, it just sounded weird and kind of witchy, and then she became serious. Before she became serious, and when the hero wouldn't respond to anything. Yeah, I could understand not responding to anything, but she was really quiet by this point, and I could barely hear them. Oh my gosh, I did catch the words handsome and retreat, and just random words like potion and bach. I can't read this word. And hex. No, I just kept glancing at him from the other end of the room where I was, and Lugh said I should sit down, and I do in one of the scattered chairs. And because this place looks pretty solid, it's not like I can dash to the probably locked door on the corner of the room all the way over there, but not just yet, not with my friend captured, tied up, and a magic-wielding maniac watching me. Lugh pulls up a chair from across from me, so we're facing each other. His hair are darkened back to black. Back to black. Got that song stuck in my head now. And he was very calm about everything, was still studying me in an odd way. Then he said something weird. He said, "So my little sister and your friend seem set up." He continued, "You know, we could be something." I was so full of cringe that I laughed, saying, no. And so I gestured with my hands for emphasis. And when he said, "Why not? We'd be a good couple, if not partners. I see you have a lot of magic in you." He stretched out his palm so that cloudy white magic rays escaped from it. "I could teach you all sorts of spells." I started getting upset. I stood up. He said, nuh-uh. And he motioned with his hand. All of a sudden, there were tight ropes on my ankles, so I sat back down. Lugh said, "If you're magic, why don't you do any spells?" I snapped. "Spells? I could do spells. What, idiot?" I snapped. I started spiraling my hands around and coming up with a rhyme, and suddenly waves of blue raspberry light escaped from my fingers, and it mingled with the larger rays that I had composed. I don't know what the rhyme was. All I remember was that it was pretty. Lugh watched with interest, but then I remembered that as a good Catholic, the Catholics are not allowed to do magic, so I stopped the spell and the magic slowly faded away. So I turned my head away. Lugh said, "Why did you stop?" I said, "Because I'm a Catholic and I can't practice magic." "I see," he said. Nevertheless, he stood up and waved his wand over my head and muttered strange words, and for a brief moment something about him changed. He looked different. Likeable and smart. Sure, he was arrogant and delusional, but that could be overlooked. I understood what was happening. "Oh, no," I said. I snapped out of it. The spell he was doing broke away, and I was myself again. He said, "Let me do another." Not bothered at all, he did another spell, and I did not let the thoughts take control. After it failed, he acted almost impressed. "That should have worked. Why didn't it work on you?" I said, "Well, because I fought it." He asked, "How?" I shrugged. "Because I'm a fairy," I said. "Oh," he said. Then I'm afraid I'm going to have to do this." He whipped out a bottle with a purple liquid in it, and with a quick swipe of his arm, he tried to pour the liquid on me. But as the bottle drew closer to my head, it started to tip. I darted up from my seat and slapped it out of his hand just before I could be drenched. I thought you were supposed to drink those things, and not be watered like a plant. It fell and crashed on the floor. I felt something on my hand and looked at it. It felt hot, and the purple potion was splashed on my hands. On my hand. "Oh my gosh," I exclaimed. I frantically wiped my hands on my clothes. But it was too late, and by the time my hands reached my clothes, my pants. The potion had disappeared on my hand, and the purple was all gone. Lugh had taken notice. Meanwhile, Lina was watching, and the potion, which was now broken, she practically knelt down at the puddle and shards and said, "My potion! How could you? I was going to use that on the hero." It wasn't hard to figure out what kind of potion this was. Lugh shrugged, and Lina dragged him off to a room in the back, saying, "Well, now it's broken, and you said you were going to help me make another one." He said, "I did?" She said, "Yes, with the ingredients." He said, hold on, let me put this away." He took the white crystal from his pocket and was just tossing it around casually. Lina said, "Fine, but hurry up." There was a staircase in this building, and Lugh went up the staircase, and Lina was left with me for a bit. So I said to her, "Whatever you plan to do with the hero, it won't work. He's immune to magic." She said, "Oh, it will. What makes my potions so good is that they are 20 times more powerful than other potions, like a concentrate." I thought about my hands. I didn't feel anything working, so I dismissed the thought. Lina went away to the other side of the room to where the hero's at, and she says, "It won't be long now." Then she went into the back room while I was looking at the hero. He had a hand sticking out of the mountain of ropes, and he had a phone, and he was texting and messing around on it. I mean, I guess what else would he be doing? But now Lugh came down the stairs and suddenly walked to the room that Lina was in. You could hear some of their voices from out of there. How to hear out of there? I don't know. Now that we were unguarded, I discovered I had my knife. I had my knife, guys. So I took it out, cut the ropes on my ankles that had no knots. They were just like one continuous thing. And I walked on over to free the hero. "Shh," I said to him, and when I came near the hero, he said, "Oh, good. It's just you," he said. So I got him free. I told him, "Wait here while I go get the crystal, and warn me if they come." I didn't have an escape plan, but I wanted the crystal even more since I didn't want them to have it. So I climbed up the stairs and to the door that I saw Lugh go through. Inside was a room that had shelves with magic books, and I didn't want to pay attention to what else was in there, because the room was freaking me out because it was all blood red. And then I heard, "They're coming." The hero was trying to tell me. In the middle of the red room was a desk with a crystal lying on it like those freaks. I thought, Lugh was so confident getting himself this that he couldn't even be bothered to hide it. I ran and picked it up, and that's when I heard the door open. Lugh entered the room and closed the door, locking it with a key, and I started to panic. With the crystal in one hand and my knife in the other, I screeched, "Let me out, open the door, get away, or I'll kill you." He just stared at me, and then his hair turned white again. He was trying to do another spell. My mind started to alter again. My blade started to turn towards myself. I ended up hugging it and then dropping it. I shouldn't be holding a weapon when I couldn't protect myself. He said, "Why do you deny the obvious? We're the greatest people this side of the magic world." I fought the thoughts of him not being an enemy. "And your friend too, as soon as Lina finishes that potion," I snapped out of it. "No," I said. I snatched up my knife and realized that if I had as much magic as he said, that I should just beat whatever he was doing, just like earlier. So I leapt to his throat, and we wrangled each other till I got the key, and I didn't actually hurt him. The whole thing just felt so weird. I unlocked the door, and the hero pulled it open, and Lugh didn't try anything after that. I closed the door and locked Lugh in. The hero said, "I'm sorry, I tried to stop him, but..." I interrupted. "No, I'm sorry, I should have never trusted them." We went down the stairs. Lina soon appeared from that room where she was assembling the potion. She was holding her bottle, smiling, but her smile disappeared when she saw that we were free. We knocked the potion out of her hands where it broke again, and tied her up in that same chair the hero was in. And we found a door that led out, and we were opening it before I woke up. And that was the end of that. But not really, because they show up again. So, just in a preview, not a preview, but what happened in the next stream after this, me and the hero trying to figure out what the crystal actually does. So those stories are more focused on the crystal, because it plays a big part. One thing I have to say is that in my teenage years, I had a very unhealthy view of not just other teenagers, but I don't know, boys. I don't know, just really scared of them. But never mind. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I can't explain everything in all the characters in my dreams, but excuse me, I'm feeling self-conscious. Ignore that. That is the end of my story. It kind of left on the cliffhanger, but hopefully I can catch up with you all again, and then we can read the other part to the story, chapter 14. I don't even know what the title's going to be, but I hope that maybe you all found that entertaining. I don't know if I did, because it's still embarrassing to me. So, I'll see you all later, and keep putting the fun in delusional. Bye.